big match, Arsenal v Chelsea Part 1, production number 4796, date of recording 18/11/73, take 1.
And welcome again to the big match. Today, 3 more matches from yesterday's First Division programme. For our main match, we have Arsenal against Chelsea, and we back that up with 2 of the highest scoring games in the top division yesterday, Liverpool against Ipswich and Newcastle United against Manchester United. In our studio, once again, Brian Clough to give his views on the action you're about to see. But first we go off to Highbury for the battle between Arsenal and Chelsea, and first, the arrival of the teams. Now let's catch up on the lineup. Arsenal are unchanged after their victory at Main Road last week. Brian Hornsby continues at 9, with John Radford having a run in the reserves after injury. As for Chelsea, going through a much better spell now, they are now without Alan Hudson and Marvin Hinton, both injured, and they now give another chance to that sprightly little Scot, Ian Britton. And it's Ian Britton who is an immediate target for the photographers, a really tenacious little midfield player. But having his best season for Chelsea is Tommy Baldwin, and he's their top scorer this season with 9 goals. And here now is Brian Hornsby, a youngster with a goal-scoring responsibility on his shoulders for Arsenal. The referee at Highbury is Gordon Hill of Leicester, and the linesman on the far side there is Dennis Druitt of Haywards Heath. And the last time we saw him on the big match, he had to go off, and that was the afternoon that Jimmy Hill took his place on the line. The clock at Highbury showing how football has met this state of emergency, coming to an early kick-off time of 2:15.
So away we go then at the start of this London derby game. Chelsea defending the goal to our left, all in blue. Osgood winning a principal ball there straight away in the air, and McNabb turning it back to Bob Wilson. Memories, of course, of a tremendous cup tie these two sides had last season, one controversially on a penalty by Arsenal. Ball, and Kemba was in so quickly then for Chelsea. Houseman now turning it in once more, and Baldwin was hopeful of getting the touch. Osgood! No, and he's hit the post! And Osgood, I think, will be a little annoyed with himself for not having made that one count. He really wasn't on the target when perhaps he should have been. So very close with only 3 minutes gone. Favouring a wide one towards Armstrong. McNabb. Now it's Kemba to Osgood. A beautiful touch off again by Osgood, and played on superbly by Britton. And here's Garland now. Oh, and pushed over. Brilliantly pushed over by Bob Wilson, who might well have injured himself against the post, from Chris Garland. But another superb flowing move there, leaving Garland with the shooting chance. A beautiful ball by Britton. So the little number 8, Ian Britton from Dundee, has played 1 or 2 beautiful, simple balls, but also played a lovely, sensitive ball a long way there for Garland to chase onto. And Osgood, beautiful touch that gave Britton his chance in the first place. Wilson is on his feet again. seemed to be slightly off balance when he pushed up and pushed that one over. It was a brilliant save, and here's the corner. Osgood again going in, and Simpson that time forced to put it behind for another corner to Chelsea. So Garland will take this one. Wilson now with a cap on. The sun, the men shielding their eyes from the very bright sunlight. Ball, Kelly, Armstrong, ball. And Charlie George leading the charge this time for Arsenal. Hornsby right up there too. Kelly, Kennedy, that'll come to Britain. Locke. And now Charlie George once more, hit from a long way out. But way off the mark. Charlie George, scorer of 2 goals this season. Handball. Gordon Hill, one of our very best referees, a headmaster from Leicestershire. Kennedy to Kelly. Shot well and saved well. It'll be Chelsea's throw. Baldwin now. Story to George. Arsenal at the moment coming back very well from that early dangerous Chelsea pressure, but here's another Chelsea break as Baldwin takes it up from Osgood's pass and given offside. Baldwin looking a little perplexed. Rice, Britton, Osgood, Rice again. Played inside ball, hoping to get there, but Kemba just a fraction before him once more for Chelsea. Played for Osgood. Lovely skills again by Osgood. The swinging pass here to Garland. Nice chest trap by him, and then showed too much of it to McNabb. And now it's Kennedy. And Bonetti going down, the ball bobbling just a little bit awkwardly in front of him. Plenty of shots on goal this afternoon so far, with only 13 minutes gone. Houseman. One roar after the other with this crowd today as Story tucks it back once more to Bob Wilson. Locke. Chelsea's intention obviously to play as many long balls for the speed of Osgood and Baldwin. Simpson, Story. Rice. And Webb. Now it's with Harris. Giving it to Kennedy. Charlie George. Oh, what a good ball there by George, and good running again by Rice. The cross is far too hard, and it'll be a throw when Arsenal would have hoped to have made so much more of it. Great ball there by Charlie George, and very good running indeed by Rice. His cross in no way matched the run that he'd made. Locke with the throw for Chelsea. Garland. Webb. Osgood. Baldwin. Shaking off 2 men, Kelly and Story. Baldwin again. And a throw to Arsenal. Story, Simpson and McNabb. Quarter of an hour gone, no score. Ball, Britton, and now Armstrong. Hornsby for Charlie George. McNabb, Armstrong buzzing around there, keeping possession as Armstrong now tries to take it up and loses possession. Osgood. Well, that fell nicely for Chelsea at the second go, and it's Kemba to Houseman. Baldwin is right in there, so too is Wilson, and it might come for Baldwin, no. Harris to Benetti. Story to Ball. Rice. Kennedy. And Harris getting in there to nod it away. Chelsea's attacks at the moment have lost a lot of their momentum, and it's Arsenal beginning to grind them down. Armstrong. Chip towards Alan Ball. Back again for Hornsby. Arsenal fans felt that there was an infringement in that penalty area, but Gordon Hill didn't so much as bat an eyelid. Harris forward towards Osgood. Virtually on his own up there and showing great skill, and a pity he wasn't allowed to go on with it. Reminds me of Mr. Druitt, very quick to flag, but it's a pity that Chelsea, who'd got the thing going their way, weren't allowed to go on, Osgood in particular. As it is Arsenal now with 10 men back as Houseman takes the free kick. Webb's going in there, in fact going there with his head, and Baldwin was almost in there too. Beautiful header there by David Webb. Reminiscent in many ways of a header that won the cup for them up at Old Trafford, and Webb is still right up there. Now it's with Baldwin. Webb played for Osgood and played just a little too close, but now Chelsea keeping it going with Houseman on the far side, and that's too high. Peter Houseman, his testimonial year. Kennedy getting through so much work there, trying to get away from that Chelsea defence. McNabb pumping one through once more. Hornsby hopeful of getting a touch. Flicked across again, and Kemba getting it away to Britton. And Kemba again. Doing so much work in the middle of the field, Kemba, for Chelsea, and here's Houseman. And now Houseman again. Will he leave it for Osgood? Yes. Still with Osgood. Turned in again now. Now Garland, can he make this one go in? Just over. And apparently, according to referee Gordon Hill, it's a corner. From Chris Garland. So Chelsea get a corner. David Webb again right up there on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Osgood making a run towards the near post. Houseman's corner deep towards David Webb, but Kennedy wins it in the air. It's with Locke. He'll want to plant it back again. Garland. A lot of spoiling there. Like the way the referee is allowing the game to flow as much as it possibly can. Britton. Baldwin. Simpson will get this away, although Osgood is really coming in after them, forcing him into errors all the while, but just a little too vigorous with that challenge on Bob McNabb. And Gordon Hill coming across to have a word with Peter Osgood. Swift action and stern words, and he really is telling Osgood what he thinks of him. A player with such tremendous skills. Whether there's a feud going on between Osgood and McNabb, that's rather what the referee suspects. Hornsby, and a free kick given against Ron Harris and Chelsea. Harris believing that the Arsenal man made it look worse than it was. So now the Chelsea wall. 2, 4, 5 of them in the wall, lining up on that far post. Peter Bonetti looks as though, no, lining up on this near post, or are they? Bonetti himself doesn't seem quite sure what the area on this near post of the wall. Bonetti taking the far side to it. Charlie George, the spare man in it, and Kelly putting it down and kicking it in one movement. But a goal kick. Houseman winning it. Baldwin is there too. And now Britton picking up the loose one. Osgood on the far side, wanting it in the air and getting it. Chesting it down, was he pushed there by Story? Nothing given. Osgood furious by that. Certainly from this distance it looked very much as though he was pushed down there by Story, inside the penalty area. Referee and linesman very much closer than us. Charlie George, Hornsby, Charlie George again. Now can George make this one go, and a good save again by Bonetti. Kept it down so well, but not wide enough with Bonetti. Houseman, Osgood now chasing in, but Simpson should get there first and does. Kelly, the back heeler for Simpson. Armstrong, oh, and he may have given that to Garland, he almost did. So an attacker there rather getting in a defender's way. But here's Armstrong now in the role that he prefers. Oh, here's Kelly. And again Bonetti, oh! No, just wide. Well, from the moment Bonetti just failed to hold that shot, Chelsea were in trouble. And Kennedy couldn't quite poke it in. But I think a free kick in any case had been given. Maybe for an unfair charge. No, it's a goal kick given. So Arsenal right on the stroke of half-time, after a first half when both sides have attacked brilliantly. Just failed, and we still haven't got a goal. Armstrong to Kelly. Good play again by Kelly. And there's Charlie George with the shot just wide. So Chelsea, who come here with the best of intentions of attacking, have received so much in kind in return from Arsenal. They too have attacked so well. So there we are at half-time. Eddie Kelly, one of the stars in the middle of the field for Arsenal. And to me, the man who I suppose has done so much in the middle of the field for Chelsea also is their number 4, Steve Kemba. Going in there now. The nearest we've had to a goal, of course, the shot against the post by Peter Osgood, right at the start. But an excellent first half, and still so much more to come on the big match for you this afternoon. But the half-time score at Highbury is Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0, and we'll be right back.
From the third stroke, it will be 30 seconds to the beginning of part 2.
Welcome back then. It's Arsenal's turn now to kick off. They will be attacking the goal to our right. We've had everything else at Highbury this afternoon in terms of skills and attacking adventure. Let's hope the second half also produce a goal or two. It's with Alan Ball. Rice for Story, or rather for Simpson, and now for Story. Here's McNabb to Armstrong. McNabb forward again to Alan Ball. George, a few elbows going there between Kember and Kennedy, and it was Kennedy said to be leaning on Steve Kember. Played for Garland. Now Kelly to Story. Rice, and now Houseman. And Rice again in with more determination than Osgood had in that particular situation. And it's with Eddie Kelly now for Arsenal. Rice in there. And that time Webb getting it away. Interesting how many strange and interesting fellows they've got coming into attacking positions. It was Rice there who was deep in that Chelsea penalty area. Players you least expect suddenly popping up in possible scoring positions. And here's Simpson now, forsaking that deep defensive position and finding he's getting no rest at all from Tommy Baldwin. But at least Arsenal, no, they've got a throw, not a free kick. Ball now. That could be very dangerous, and it took Hollins to get it away. Charlie George blasting it. Now, did it go off a Chelsea player? Arsenal thought it did. What's more important is that the referee said no. That looked like a push, and indeed it was a push by Simpson on Osgood. Chelsea's free kick. Hollins, Kember. The consultation, it's Hollins who's going to take it. No Arsenal wall. Britain. Charlie George getting it away as far as Osgood, turned it again, and Baldwin just wide, and the flag was up on the far side in any case for offside. So Wilson can take a free kick for offside. Ball deceiving Kember in the air there. And now it's with George Armstrong. Harris. McNabb. Armstrong. Block is covering him. McNabb has gone up to support him, and Armstrong getting it across very well, but ball beaten in the air by Hollins, and Chelsea suspecting that they can make a quick break. Hollins and Houseman and Britton are right up here. Here's Britton, number 8. Arsenal with only 4 men back, and they've got Garland on the far side unmarked. And there's a beautiful ball there to Garland, but he's taken out of the play. But a lovely break out of defence by Chelsea, thinking their way through it the whole length of the field. Now with McNabb. Kelly. Story. Rice. Story again. Charlie George. Ball. Now it's opening up a bit for Arsenal with Armstrong, a sweeping pass there from Alan Ball, knowing instinctively that Armstrong is going to be there. Down goes McNabb, and again nothing is given, says the referee. And Chelsea can take it up with Houseman. Hollins again has made a great burst down the left for him. Still with Peter Houseman. Maybe he's taken it too far. No, he's crossed it, and then it's too close to Wilson. And Chelsea attackers in the middle hold their heads in frustration. Here's Charlie George. Hornsby. Turned in this time for Alan Ball. Play on, says the referee, and here's Kennedy. Now, is this the one? And a great save there by Bonetti. Really, that's almost the first time that Ray Kennedy's been allowed to breathe by David Webb and company. Now it's Britain for Chelsea. Hornsby right back to hustle and try and find something in the middle of the field. Story. Hornsby again. Britain for Chelsea. And Harris will turn it back to Bonetti. Got down so well and so quickly, Bonetti, for that save from Ray Kennedy. Garland. Osgood. Hornsby to Story. To McNabb, letting it go for Armstrong. Charlie George. Played this time for ball, and he tried to play it on again. And Chelsea now once more with a chance to break. Houseman with it. Baldwin up ahead. Here's Tommy Baldwin. Faced by Story and outnumbered 3-1. Still with Baldwin, hit with power, straight at Bob Wilson. So quite a flourish at the end here. Kennedy now. Harris there, ducking in to head it away. But Kennedy really rampaging after him and doing well for Arsenal there. Play on, says the referee. Armstrong. Played for Kelly. Still Kelly, a little lucky to win that one back. Charlie George. And that'll come straight for Houseman. Hollins. We're in the last seconds of the game. Can't think there's any time to be added on for injuries either. And indeed, it's all over. And a game that started brilliantly, fell away a bit in the second half, ends goalless. Bob Wilson with so little to do in the second half. Peter Bonetti, one brilliant save there from Ray Kennedy right at the end. But for all the attacking, neither goalkeeper really terribly extended this afternoon. And so we're left with a rather disappointing final scoreline at Highbury this afternoon that reads Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0.
Yes, a great first half, but what a pity it all disintegrated in the second. And really, all we had to talk about at the end were the penalties that might have been. First, Brian Clough, the penalty that Chelsea thought they should have had.
Well, I've looked at it very closely and I would agree with them. I thought it was a blatant penalty. The referee was in a good position to see it as well. It's a short cross ball, very, very accurate, straight onto Osgood's chest, over Story's head. When Story realises he's not going to get it, he whacks Osgood down onto his backside. Osgood would have definitely got that ball and could have gone on to score a goal.
Noticeable too how Story there is looking at
Straight
the referee.
At the referee, yes. Because the referee was in a good position,
yes,
and he could have given that penalty.
Yes, indeed. Well, Arsenal thought they should have had a penalty too when Ray Kennedy was brought down by David Webb. But quite honestly, when we looked at that in slow motion, there was no valid reason why they should have had one. But a more legitimate claim, I think, came quite near the end of the game when Bob McNabb was brought down.
It was a tight situation, this, for a referee, but if you look very closely in slow motion, Bob McNabb did poke that ball past the defender into the penalty area, and then his legs were taken from underneath him. The referee's in the top left-hand corner of your picture. Once again, the Chelsea players look straight to the referee to see if they've got away with it. On that particular instance, once again, they did. I felt that was a penalty also.
Do you think refs are giving enough penalties, Brian?
No, they haven't got the moral courage at this particular stage of a game in the penalty area, and they should have more of it.
Well, let's have some more action now. We leave Arsenal and Chelsea behind us, rather disappointingly, and we turn our attention once again to Manchester United, who are having their troubles near the foot of the table. Yesterday they were away to Newcastle United, who are lying second in the table. So it's Newcastle against Manchester United. The pictures come from Tyne Tees television. The commentator at St James's Park is David Taylor, and Newcastle are in the stripes.
Headed out by Kidd. McDermott fighting for it. Been brought down by Brian Kidd. Certainly Manchester aren't standing on ceremony. Crowd letting them know what they think of that sort of play. Hope for the header, and surely Newcastle have scored! And it's given Tommy Cassidy. But a lot of the good work done by Newcastle's 19-year-old centre-forward, George Hope. Well, really, Newcastle couldn't believe their luck there. But a goal it is, and the scorer, Tommy Cassidy. Smith. Willie Morgan killing that ball neatly. Finding Best. Best got a bit of room. Green off. Here's a chance. And a goal. The goal to Lou Macari. Manchester have scored an equaliser. Very much against the run of the play, but really Newcastle have got only themselves to blame for that. Slack marking at the back. Moncur sold himself. The ball came through, and Macari had the comparatively simple job of putting it into the back of the Newcastle net. Macari and Kidd combining well. Moncur getting in, playing well at the back today, Bobby Moncur. Unfortunately, his one mistake is what started the move that led to Manchester's goal. Best. He's got a player free outside him. There's Graham. And a great goal. George Graham left completely unmarked. The ball slipped through to him and crack. 2-1 to Manchester United. Now McDermott. Gibb trying to get round the defence and succeeding. And Cassidy with the equaliser. An old-fashioned goal by Newcastle. Gibb getting round the back of the defence, pulling it back, and Cassidy sticking it into the net. 2 goals each. George Best with this corner. Manchester have moved 5 players up. Newcastle have 7 back. Macari losing it to Jim Smith. He's certainly had a good game. That's one for Cassidy to chase, but taken out by Holton. And now Gibb to take up the running. Hibbert picking this ball up. Craig coming up on the overlap, but Hibbert putting it across. And the corner kick given away by Manchester. 25 minutes of the second half gone. And 2-2 draw. Newcastle with 7 men in the box. Howard and Moncur both gone up for this. Here it comes. Hope in the air. He scored! George Hope has scored for Newcastle. What a day for George Hope. Corner kick taken on the left, and Hope puts it into the net.
Well, what about Manchester United, Brian? They're now 5 off the bottom of the table. I think your last game as Derby County manager was against Manchester United. You've got recent knowledge of them. How are they doing?
Yes, the last time Derby won, I think. Manchester United not doing very well. He bailed them out last year, spending a lot of money and buying a lot of players. This was accepted in the game because they had to get away from the relegation zone. But of course now it's expected that they go on to improve. And they're not improving. They're a mediocre side, and I don't fancy them to even finish in the top half.
Do you see them in the bottom 3, which is more to the point? In terms of
no, he won't be in the bottom 3. He's got far too much talent for that. He's got a bit of enthusiasm with a couple of young lads as well, but the Bests and the Morgans and the Kidds will keep him out of the relegation zone, but it won't get him much further above it.
Yeah. A mediocre side with his main problems where?
His main problems were his lack of startling talent. You know, he's got a lot of players of a muchness. You know, when Best abdicated, he took something from that side which is it's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And he hasn't got a star player as such. Kidd's been on the transfer list, I would say, or available for years. Holton is a big centre-half to get you out of trouble, but never will win you anything. Stepney in goal is, you know, is on the backlash, so to speak, of everything. I don't think he's got good players.
Well, apart from anything else, there were 5 bookings in that game at St James's Park yesterday. We've done this thing before on the programme a few weeks back. Let's have a look now and analyse those bookings.
This was a terrible booking. Hibbert's got it there, plenty of time, turns it inside of the Manchester United defender, and Kidd takes it off his toe, and he immediately lunges at Kidd to stop him breaking away, and the best part's to come. It looks there as though he's been poleaxed himself. He should have been booked twice, one for the foul and one for acting.
So the referee was right?
Definitely right, the referee. This is a situation that you have to judge and you haven't got much time. That's definitely a foul. The players go out of picture. The referee obviously blows his whistle straight away, and the result is 2 players finish up getting booked. The Manchester United player is receiving treatment in his back, so we assume he got a whack there.
That's Greenoff and McDermott, the Newcastle player,
yes.
both booked.
I think we'd go along with the referee there again, not having seen the whole incident. This is definitely a booking. A Newcastle player receives it, and Young comes 6, 7 or 8 yards, and standing no nonsense at all, just lifts him up, puts his hand up to acknowledge the foul, and the referee puts his hand to his back pocket to do the booking. This one, having seen it a couple of times, I think is the least bookable offence. Howard does go to flick the ball away, but Kidd rides the tackle well, gets on with the game. The referee does blow his whistle. Kidd goes across to shake hands with Howard, and he finishes up getting booked for that. I don't know if Howard had persistently fouled. If he had, then obviously the referee was right there. But there appears to be too many bookings creeping back into our game.
Because I think there is too much violence creeping back into our game.
Well, when teams like Lazio get away with just 12 months suspension and they committed what was nearest to murder on a football field I've ever seen, then you can understand footballers who watch these things very closely saying, well, if the top people are letting things go like that, then we can perhaps get away with a few things.
But do you feel that there is violence creeping back into the game? I mean, we've seen several occasions there. We've seen several incidents in previous weeks where the kicking from behind is coming back into the game. A thing that has been stamped out by referees in the past 2 years. Yeah,
it's got to be stamped out immediately again before it rears its ugly head. I'm not sure on how many bookings we've had this season in preference to last season, but if they're even the same, there is evidence that tackling from behind is coming back into the game. It's a cowardly way of fouling people because forwards haven't got any chance. It stifles skill, and that's the very thing we want into our game.
And I've seen players at the top doing it.
Of
which
course.
Are not setting the right example.
Yes, it's not. I've seen England players doing it. I've seen Roy McFarlane doing it in the last few weeks. It's been brought out perhaps with him frustration, he's been isolated, but that is no excuse. Because I can't talk to the Brighton centre-half and tell him how it should be played if he's watching England centre-half do the very opposite.
How much is down to club managers?
Oh, everything's down to club managers. They should take the whole responsibility and they should take the can back. I've advocated for years that managers should pay for this type of thing. And if 5 players were booked in that match that we've just seen, then if their managers had been fined £200 respectively, I don't think 5 players will be booked next week.
Fine. Well, there we are. We see a bit of a problem looming in the game, which managers and referees between them must iron out. And after a look at the action at Newcastle yesterday, it's time once again on the big match for a look at your letters. And several of you have written to me this week about points from last week's Manchester City-Arsenal game. Mr Stan Cook of 12 Saltbox Close, Barnes Green near Horsham in Sussex, and Mr F Rowbury of 56 Elderbury Road, Fairwater, Cardiff, both noticed that Alan Ball walked off the field while Arsenal were attacking in order not to be caught offside. Should that be allowed, they say? And what if a defender did it to catch an attacker offside? Let's look at the incident first of all. Alan Ball, you will see, is on the right of the picture, just there he is now. In possession. He sees now that he could be caught offside, quietly goes off the field. It's a very loose area, this, where referees have to use their discretion and play, I think, more to the spirit of the law than the letter of the law. They have to get into their minds whether or not Ball is seeking to gain an advantage. There he is coming onto the field again. I think it's one of those things where you cannot be too dogmatic about it. You must decide whether he's seeking to gain that advantage and play to the spirit of the law rather than to the letter of the law. As to a defender, whether he's going to leave the field in order to catch somebody offside, speaking to a leading refereeing expert in London today, he tells me that in fact most referees will ignore that, will not give an attacker offside, but emphasises that players, when they want to leave the field or when they want to come back, should try and get the attention of the referee, but he emphasises still more strongly that it's the spirit of the law that matters and not the letter of the law. I hope that's at least a little clearer to you. The second point from that game, Richard and Charlie Watson of 15 Myrtle Road, Eastbourne in Sussex, and Nigel Cattler, who's 14, of 38 Stanhope Road, Longwall Green in Bristol, both feel that Alan Ball charged the City goalkeeper unfairly when a goal was scored.
Well, this wasn't on. George Armstrong took an orthodox corner. Bob McNabb gets up beautifully well there and whacks it against the crossbar. And if you look very closely, it bobs down and the ball is live, so to speak. Ball does get his foot up to attempt to put it in the net. Didn't, in my opinion, go anywhere near the goalkeeper. Referee thought so also, and the result was Arsenal got a good goal.
Well, finally on that game, what about the Manchester City goalkeeper's shorts? Keith McRae wore black shorts while his teammates wore white. As you'll see, there he is in the centre of the picture there, McRae. And Tony Davis, the secretary of Brenton Football Club in Middlesex, and E. Saunders, 118 Darwin Court, SE17, both understood that it's the league ruling that goalkeepers must wear the same colour shorts as their teammates. Our two hawk-eyed viewers are absolutely right. The league confirmed that ruling to us. They also told us that they were aware of the Keith McRae situation. And I noticed, incidentally, on Match of the Day last night that he wore white shorts like his teammates. Finally, in amongst all of those, it's so nice to get the sort of thing I've had from Mr. K.H. Bull of 73 Barncroft Way, Lee Park, Havant in Hampshire. It's the results and scorers from a Saturday way back in October 1954. We thought it might be a little interesting to let you know what the present-day London First Division sides were doing that particular day. How about this as a result for starters? Spurs 1, Charlton Athletic 4. And one of the Charlton's goals came as an own goal from Sir Alf Ramsey.
He's had a bad week, poor lad.
We had Arsenal playing away to Leicester City. That was a 3-3 draw as well. And two of the three Arsenal goals, they came from Tommy Lawton, the one and only. Chelsea played at home to West Bromwich Albion, another 3-3 draw, but the significant thing there was a 67,000 crowd at Stamford Bridge. West Ham were then in the second division. They were away to Doncaster Rovers and they lost 2-1. But Dave Sexton, now the manager of Chelsea, scored the West Ham goal that day. And Queen's Park Rangers, they were in the third division south. They were away to Norwich City, also in the third division south, and that finished in a 1-1 draw. In a week when England lost to Italy, it's worth recalling too that England played an international match that Saturday away to Northern Ireland in Belfast. They won it 2-0. The goals were scored by Johnny Haynes and Don Revie. We had 33 goals in the first division yesterday. We were pleased about that. There were 40 goals scored in the first division on that day. Well, if you're rumbling through the attic and come across any old football mementos that you think might interest all our big match viewers, let me know about them. We'll see whether we can get them on. Our last match today is Liverpool against Ipswich at Anfield, where the pictures come from Granada. The commentator is Gerald Sinstadt. Liverpool are in the all-dark strip. Stand by now for some more goals.
Keegan, put out by Hunter. No. Collected by Callaghan. Good turn and a good cross. Cormac. Hunter delaying his clearance. Thompson's shot. Toshak. Beat the word. Keegan. The pressure paid in the end. Liverpool just battering away, and finally Ipswich fall. The shot by Thompson, half blocked. The cross pushed out by Best and knocked back in by Keegan's diving header for his fourth goal of the season. Hunter, Thompson, Highway, Callaghan, Cormac for Keegan, good shot against the post. Best knew nothing of that. Liverpool showing more zest in this opening quarter of an hour than in many matches this season. Hunter didn't make proper connection with that header. Mills. Late tackle by Highway. Hammond. Neat bit of play by Keegan, and Hammond obstructs him. Highway. Good cross for Keegan's head again. That really was a brilliant goal. Just watch as Highway breaks. He teases Hammond, but as the cross comes over, Keegan brave, getting the angle right as the defender comes in. Superb second goal for Keegan. Lloyd. Morris touching it out to Miller. Mills. Miller charged late by Callaghan. Acknowledges his error. Callaghan retreating 10 yards, Morris to take the free kick. Johnson on a run across the box, taking men out, and there's Johnson in! Beautiful header from David Johnson. 2-1, and Johnson gets a goal where he would probably most like to get one. Back on Merseyside. Morris's free kick. It's Wymark on the decoy run, and Johnson gets the header. Lindsay's cross. Toshak's header, caught by Best. Miller. Morris to Mills. Callaghan. Lawler. Emlyn Hughes. Miller to Morris. Morris to take the Ipswich free kick. Beattie has gone forward. That's aimed for his head. Hughes beat him to it, gets a second chance, and Thompson blocks it for Cormac. Highway outside him, Keegan in the middle, Toshak wide on the right. Highway has shown he can beat Hammond, and what there? Well, it's given outside the box. Cormac points to a spot about 2 yards inside. Mr. Reeves to a spot, Mr. Baldwin to a spot about 2 inches outside. For my money, I would have said it was a foot inside. So Keegan running over it, Lindsay's chip, Toshak, and it's there! Peter Cormac gets number 3, and that's rough justice. The cross from Lindsay, Toshak was unmarked, and Cormac got a very good volley, and that's 3-1. Lloyd, Morris, Mills, Biljon, Beattie, Mills again, Miller, charged down by Thompson, Beattie, good cross, good header too, beautiful goal by Hamilton, really fine goal. Well, we've seen some heading in this match. Starts with Beattie's cross, makes some space for himself, hits a hard cross, and that was a very deliberate header by Hamilton from a difficult angle, high up in the corner. Thompson, Callaghan. Cormac and Keegan confusing each other then, now Highway. No penalty. 3 times Liverpool have been denied, and now they are persuading Mr. Baldwin to go and consult the linesman. He's given the penalty, so the 3rd time Liverpool's appeal is successful. Hammond, who's had a tormented afternoon trying to cope with Steve Highway. Mr. Baldwin, meanwhile, restoring a bit of order in the penalty area. Best bewildered. The linesman may well have seen something that I didn't see, but I would have thought that that was the least meritorious of the 3 claims that Liverpool have had. But Kevin Keegan on a hat-trick here. Woof! Kevin Keegan's 3rd goal of the game makes Ipswich safe, 4-2 in front. 2.5 minutes over the top, and there are 2 ways of taking penalties, and this is the power one.
That's it. On the Ball next Saturday lunchtime, the big match next Sunday afternoon at 2:05. Each week our programme goes right across Australia. It's time to say congratulations now that they've qualified for the World Cup finals next summer. What better than to leave you with the goal that put the Aussies through? It was in a playoff match against South Korea in Hong Kong, and for a change, we let an Oriental commentator have the last word.
12碼點前些少，現在咧向住個隊長彎，梗係頂俾佢17去射啦，有機會靚啊！哎，跨網而入，哇！